Okay, here's some weirdness. Got a AA flashlight here from Home Depot. I like it a lot. If you put AA's in it that are regular alkalins here, they'll work. If you put the Harbor Freight NICADs in, it'll work. If you put these purple nickel metal hydrides from 12 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago from Olympus, they'll work. If you put these green nickel metal hydrides from Harbor Freight, I had one set I used the other day and they worked in there, and then I went ahead and got another set, and these suckers will not fit in here because the diameter is slightly larger, and no matter how you pack this, if you try to cram this in here, it scrapes off the covering on the batteries here, no matter how you put this in. So it's so tight in the tolerance, so I went off and took the micrometer here, and it turns out that this battery here, 150, 565, 564, here's a regular Energizer, it's about 552. Here's a NICAD battery, 551. Here's these purple ones from a long time ago, 558. These green guys here, 565, 570. There's 565. There's just enough to where it won't fit in here. And the screwy thing is that once this scrapes off on here, that's electrically hot to this, and it gets tied on here, and what you can happen is have it completely direct short on the side. So it's kind of a screwy, dangerous thing in the sense that once the battery, the covering is off, that's electrically tied to negative, and you can get it kind of shorted on here. So kind of strange, because I used these the other day, and I used another set. I've got actually shooting this video right now, and they fit. So these are just some cheap nickel metal hydrides I got, but it's goofy in the sense that I just bought 2 different packs of these green ones, and the ones that are got the other day will fit in here. These are NICADs here. They fit in there, got gobs of tolerance. Put the green ones in there, and they're exactly to where when you put it in, it scrapes off the side of the battery. So it's kind of weird. Going to go up in the attic and do something, and then found out that here's a battery's got some weird problems. Anyways, that's just showing some weird issues. I don't think I've ever seen this before, where the diameter of the battery is to where it's got to be right on the money in order to fit in there. So here's the battery. I've goofed around with them over and over again, and I've actually scraped off part of the battery trying to put them in there, and all these other ones fit in there beautifully. So once you do that, it'll tend to short out on the side of the battery, which is really bizarre. So that's just a strange failure mode with a battery to where they mechanically won't fit in. As is a Harbor Freight stuff. They work in the camera okay, but it's weird they won't fit in there. The diameter is just slightly larger. And eyeballing it, you really can't tell any difference. But this guy is slightly larger and tends to won't go into the flashlight. Okay, here's the problem with the batteries again. The AA's that are too fat. These NICADs will fit in here into the Fuji camera,
And these Harbor Freight nickel metal hydrides here, these purple ones will fit in, that I've had from Olympus from a long time ago. Double A's will fit in off the brand. Here's some Everetti's Energizers. They'll fit in. Some of these here that have gone in this flashlight, which are oversized, they'll fit in the Fuji, but they're pretty tight. And after they've gone through and gone through with the flashlight here and skinned the sides off one usage, they'll fit in the camera here, but to where they're hard to get out of there. So that's kind of a weird deal where right here this battery won't even it tends to shave. You have to force the battery in to the camera, which is not good. So I could go through and shave off this plastic here because it's all peeling off, but then it tends to short out on the flashlight here. So that's showing a weird problem. These Harbor Freight nickel metal hydrides they work in the camera, but as soon as I put them in this flashlight from Home Depot, the where they're nested in here, and this is the diameter here is so tight that it'll actually shave off the batteries. And once it's done that on some, it makes the batteries to where they don't want to go in there. Normally if you put this in here, this battery pack fits right in here. It's got a lot of space. If you go ahead and take these out, these are the Harbor Freight NiCads. If I take these nickel metal hydrides, put them in here, when you put them in here, I can tell that they're kind of like goofy in the sense that they don't want to nest in here. That doesn't want to go in here. And if I hold all the batteries tight like this and really squeeze the hell out of it, it still doesn't want to go in. And this is because these batteries here are about an extra 10 mils in diameter. When you push them here on this deal like this, you can see when one goes in, the other one pops out. And that's just because the diameter on these things is just too big for the Harbor Freight flashlight. Now, if I've never put them in this flashlight before, they'll drop right in here. So I can take these batteries and go ahead and stick them in here just like this. That one goes in, but it's a little bit, that guy just drops in like it should. So I can put those in here just like that. Once I've put these batteries in the green ones in the Home Depot flashlight, it goes ahead and screws up the sides, and then they won't fit in the flashlight. Now if I shave off the plastic, they short out on the side of the flashlight. So it's weird. I mic'd these in the last video, and these are all about 10,000ths of an inch larger than these nickel metal hydrides from 10 years ago or a regular AA. So that's just a weird problem where the battery's slightly larger in diameter. Works fine in the camera as long as you haven't put it in any other device like this flashlight where it's marginal. Which is kind of weird because I decided to go in the attic to do something, so I put the nickel metal hydrides in there once, and it was a tight fit, and when I pulled it out, it kind of scraped the sides off and started to short the batteries out, which is kind of exciting because the metal part here of the flashlight actually is a return path, so you get a lot of current going on there. Started to melt the plastic here. So anyways, that's the weird problem with the batteries being kind of on the slightly on the larger side. I suppose I could go ahead on this camera here, really I could probably, if I was going to use them just in the